This conference will now be recorded.
I hope you all can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So today we have connected to give a demo session on SAP EHS. Okay. So we'll go through the main concepts that we have in SAP EHS. What are the sub components that is available, and then we'll take up some questions if you have, and also we'll look at the online IDS system where we'll be working out during our training. Okay. So to start with, I suppose it is better that I introduce myself so that my name is Nayaz Pasha. I am based out of Bangalore. Okay. I am working as a SAP EHS consultant. I have about overall 10 years of experience in the core domain of EHS and also as a SAP EHS consultant. Right now, I'm placed in Lucknow where I am a part of a project team. We are working on a project for the power generation plant in Lucknow. So I am a B engineer and I have done courses in SAP EHS and other modules. But I am very much proficient in SAP EHS. Okay, so this is about me. Now, if you could each person introduce yourself, we can know each other better, and we can also identify what will be the exact requirement as we go ahead during this training session. So please, if you could one by one introduce yourself with a brief background and what you are hoping to achieve through this training. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. This is Vinit Kumar Kevar.
Hi, Vinit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm currently working with the Blue Star. I have a total experience of 5 years in a construction
Okay.
line. Yeah, construction. I'm in a EHS field. So,
Okay.
what I'm looking for from SAP EHS training that
Hmm.
I want to pursue a career in SAP.
Okay.
So, this will be the good platform for me to pursue the in EHS related to my field. So
Okay.
I'm looking for it. That's it.
Okay. So you are working for Blue Star. What basically is your profession? I mean, you are working as an engineer or
Yeah, yeah. I'm working with Blue Star. My work is in I'm in construction field. So I'm
okay.
looking after the safety things. I'm a EHS manager in Blue Star.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I suppose you want to switch your career from the core domain of EHS into SAP.
Yeah.
Am I right? If that is what you are looking for?
Yes, yes. I'm looking for that.
Fine, Vinit. Fine. Okay. So anybody else?
Yeah, myself Rajneesh, and
Yes, Rajni.
I I work in renewable energy. So total, I have 5 year experience in renewable sector. So I belong to EHS department in my company. So
Okay.
I have no knowledge about SAP. That's why I attending training.
Okay. So you're working as a safety executive in the renewable energy sector?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And you basically want to do this training to understand more about SAP. And I suppose as an end user, if you are using the SAP software in the future, you should be aware of what are the options that is there. But not from a career perspective is what I understand.
Actually, current lots of opening in SAP EHS is going on. So
Okay, okay,
that's why I decided to join SAP training.
okay, fine, fine. And what is your basic qualification?
Mechanical.
Okay, mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Anyone else? How many of the candidates do we have here? I can see there are about 6 people.
Yeah, hi, this is Abdul. I'm basically a chemical engineer. I'm working in the field of safety itself. I'm working as HSD supervisor. Currently, I'm working in Qatar. I
Okay,
work in oil and gas projects and some construction projects as well. So currently, I'm in Qatar and working as HSD supervisor. So
okay,
same as Rajnish, I found a few opportunities in SAP HS. So I was interested, which is why I'm attending this training.
okay. And what are you expecting to learn, or what is your requirement? Like, do you want to switch your career, or it is just for your understanding and gaining knowledge that you want to get into SAP EHS?
Right. So actually, right now I'm working in the field of occupational safety, which is more site related, but I'm more interested in the process related jobs as well as even in the construction line. So I am looking for a career switch. That is the main
Hmm.
reason for me to attend this training.
Okay. All right. Anybody else, or is that's it? Yeah. I suppose we have 3 people here who are interested to, go ahead with SAP. Like some of you told me that SAP EHS is having good openings right now, and it is in good demand. So, and that is a true fact. If you see in the overall market scenario, SAP EHS is a very rare module. You have core modules like SAP MM, SAP PM, plant maintenance, or finance, you know, or production planning. These are some of the core modules we have in SAP EHS. But in SAP, but SAP EHS is one of those modules wherein we see nowadays there is a lot of demand that is coming up, and we have very few consultants available. So to meet this demand, we need more and more people taking up this EHS training, so that you can have a good career ahead of you, and you can get into the IT domain of EHS. Like I told you myself, I was also from a EHS background. I was into the core domain of EHS, working as a safety engineer, HSE officer in construction, facilities management, and in some of the manufacturing sectors. After about 4 to 5 years of my experience in core domain, I definitely came across SAP EHS. I heard and I also saw in my previous organizations they were using SAP EHS portal for their reporting requirements, for tracking the incidents, and for uh, uh, implementing the corporate HSC requirements in the organization. So I was exposed to SAP EHS in my organizations, and I thought, it's a good platform where you can even explore the IT domain of EHS. So that is how I got into it, and now I am comfortably placed in the IT domain of EHS. And looking forward, I think the demand is going to grow, especially, we are under lockdown, and we have seen already the kind of damage that it has done to the organizations. Now organizations are more relying on the technological part of maintaining their businesses. Earlier, it was all paper based. Looking back at my career during my initial days, EHS was basically maintained like on a paper based system where we had all the manual systems in place, all the SOPs. But now more and more bigger corporations are implementing the ERP softwares like SAP EHS so that they can efficiently maintain, implement and track their EHS requirements, not only from the organizational point of view but also from the legal and regulatory requirement as well. Okay, so that is why we have a good future in SAP EHS. All right. So like I told you, how does SAP EHS? Before going to SAP EHS, I'm sure you must be knowing about SAP as a ERP software. Okay, SAP is basically a German company. It came into being during the 1970s when three engineers of IBM, they were working on a project related to finance and the ERP systems. There was a project that was going on, but intermittently IBM decided to shut down that project, and these three engineers decided they would come out of the company and start their own company known as SAP. Okay, that was the starting point of SAP. And do you know what is the full form of SAP? If somebody knows that.
System applicant product, application product.
Yeah, it is something like that. It is systems, applications, and products in data processing. Okay, that is a full form of SAP. And going ahead, I expect that you call it as SAP and not SAP. It is a very common misconception that people call it as a SAP. It's not SAP, it is SAP. So make yourself very much familiarized with this thing, because SAP basically means it's a kind of, the Europeans don't like it. It's a name of an animal, maybe a monkey or something, which they call it in German language. Okay. So going forward, we will address it only as SAP and not SAP. Okay. So SAP is the third biggest software industry in the world, basically in terms of the ERP. What is ERP? It's enterprise resource planning. So as the name itself suggests, enterprise resource planning is a software which helps the companies to run their businesses in a more efficient way, wherein each and every process that runs in a company could be automated, and data related to each of these processes could be maintained in a software. So that is an SAP ERP software is. Okay. Currently, SAP has a market share of 34% or more than 30% in the overall industry. And its major competitors are Oracle. Oracle is the only competitor, I would say, because earlier when SAP started their business, in the IT sector, when they started selling their software, the database that was used was belonging to Oracle. They did not have their own database system. So they had a good collaboration between Oracle and SAP. That is how they started. But coming off late, SAP realized that making Oracle as a partner is not much of a benefit to them. So they switched their database from Oracle, and we have our own database system of SAP. Okay, you must have heard about S4 HANA. S4 HANA is the latest package that is available in SAP, wherein the database is not of Oracle but it is of SAP. And Oracle again, it's a very tough competition for SAP because they are coming into. One second, no? There is a call. Could just give me a second. Yeah. So Oracle is also into the ERP business, and they are a good competition. Especially if you look at the Oracle softwares, it is very user friendly. That is where SAP was lagging behind all these years. The users used to feel that using SAP software was very dry and it was not very interactive. So with S4 HANA, SAP have come up with something that is more user friendly and that the people can implement and understand it very well. So that is how S4 HANA has come into being, and it is one of the very popular software nowadays. S4 HANA, lot of companies are migrating from the earlier ECC system into S4 HANA. Okay, and SAP is operating in more than 180 countries presently, and in India also they have a good market share, and they are looking ahead with a booming industry in the coming years. Okay, so how does SAP EHS help organizations in managing their EHS activities? Or why do you think that we need to have a software for EHS? I understand we need it for the sales and distribution, or maybe for material management and other functionalities in an organization. But how exactly does it help the organizations in terms of EHS? If somebody are familiar, if somebody could, we can make it more interactive, so that it doesn't become a one-way communication. If you could, if somebody could tell us how does it actually help us.
Sir, SAP EHS, SAP is help us to make data collection
Hmm.
uh, in terms of better way than in a paperwork, I would
Okay.
say. Yeah, and it is more interactive, and we can fetch data as per our requirement
Yeah.
through
Okay.
SAP software guys.
Okay. Okay. So, like Vinit said, SAP actually helps us in making the implementation part of EHS more user friendly, and we can track our progress towards achieving our EHS goals. When we go with the paper based system or the earlier system that we used to follow in EHS, it was very dry and it was cumbersome. We had to track each and every step, everything was manual, and achieving our EHS goals was not so easy. Okay, now legal requirements coming into picture, SAP EHS helps us very much into creating reports. If there is an incident, that it is mandatory that we have to create reports, we have to share the details with the external agencies, governmental agencies, carry out investigations. All these things could be very well maintained through SAP. And it's not only that, you can create different tasks. If there is some corrective actions that you need to implement with regard to incidents, SAP EHS helps us to create those tasks and to track those tasks in terms of the corrective action and preventive action, and reporting, like I told you. So all these scenarios make it very flexible and very attractive for organizations to go ahead with this SAP EHS. Okay, and we can also embed the corporate policies, because whatever EHS system that we are speaking about, it comes right from the top management to the basic level in an organization. So you can incorporate your corporate policies. You can track the environmental parameters, health and safety policies that we have. And it is not only in a particular country, this SAP EHS can support the global companies. Any organization might be having operations in India as well as in Africa or America. What we do in SAP EHS is we roll out our project in one of the continents, in one of the countries. Then, depending on how well it is working out, the same thing can be implemented in other parts of the world. Okay, so the connectivity and the flexibility in terms of the implementation is very good. So that is how SAP EHS helps us. Next. Okay, so what are the other advantages that EHS can provide us? Okay, it is in terms of reducing incidents, mitigating risk, and it facilitates safe working environment. And how do we achieve this goal? How do we reduce the incidents? It is by going back to our classical risk assessment. Risk assessments is also a part of EHS. In SAP EHS, you can conduct various risk assessments. You can take preventive actions, corrective actions, and you can cascade these things to the other levels within the organization. So this is how SAP EHS helps us in one terms. And apart from that, you must be knowing, if you are from a process industry or from a manufacturing sector, handling of hazardous substance is one of the bigger challenges that our organizations face, especially since it is quite regulated nowadays. So we have to handle hazardous substances as per the applicable rules and regulations. This can be done quite well using SAP EHS, wherein there is a separate subsection known as hazardous substance management, wherein we can handle the hazardous substances. Apart from this, monitoring the incident patterns, you can pull out the reports like I told you. SAP EHS also helps you in pulling out the reports related to the incidents. Okay, and risk management metrics can also be implemented. It will help organizations in complying with legal, safety, and sustainability regulations that are present across the globe, especially if it is a multinational company wherein having its operations in multiple continents, different countries. So you can configure the different regulations that are present country-wise and region-wise, so that it will be much easier to track these regulation applications. And if there are any changes in the regulations, you can very well configure those changes into the SAP system. So it is very robust and very helpful. It is helpful in assessing risk proactively, yeah, and implement necessary checkpoints. What is the meaning of this is that we can conduct, there are different modules available that you can implement along with SAP EHS. We have another module known as audit management, SAP audit management. So we can collaborate that module along with SAP EHS and conduct internal audits as per your OSHA's requirements or ISO requirements. You can conduct audits, and you can identify the improvement areas, so that you can proactively identify the risks that are pertinent, and you can work on those areas to bring the risk level to the minimum level. So this is how SAP EHS will help organizations in different areas to manage the overall EHS objectives of the company. Now going ahead, what do we have in SAP EHS? Let me tell you, there are two parts in SAP EHS. One is known as SAP EHS classical system. In classical, we have about 6 to 7 sub modules within it, starting from basic data and tools up to occupational health and industrial hygiene and safety. There are about 6 to 7 sub modules. Apart from that, nowadays we are seeing a new component that is added by SAP known as EHS management. So EHS management is more related to incident management, product safety, and environment management. So these three areas is where EHS management has a lot of focus, and you can conduct in-depth risk analysis, investigations into the incidents into that. But now for this course, we will be going ahead with the classical EHS system. So what do we have in the classical EHS system? As you can see on the screen, it is the basic data and tools. Basic data and tools is where you will keep all your master data. Okay. And now what is meant by master data? Do any of you know what is a master data? Hello. Could somebody help me out if somebody knows what's a master data
I don't know, sir,
in
but
EHS?
your screen is not shared, sir.
It's not shared, is it?
Yeah, it is only shared that organizer SAP sessions. Didn't tell you.
One second, one second. Can you see now?
No, sir.
Now?
Now we can see.
Okay, fine. Please let me know if there is some technical issues, in between. Just let me know so that we can take it up. Okay? Yeah. So, like I was saying, in basic data and tools, we have specification management, property tree. We'll see what is a phase management is, and WWI templates. Apart from this, also there are few other concepts that we'll be dealing. And I told you basic data and tools is used for managing the master data. If Vinith or somebody else could help me in understanding what is a master data, if you know.
Master data, maybe it's some idle data that we can access over it to implement in our SAP process or EHS process.
Yes. Yeah, I can say like master data is the data that that is related to your company that doesn't change much. For example, you have EHS policies in your organizations. Okay, once a policy is framed, it will go on a long run for maybe 10 years, 15 years. There won't be much change in that the main data. Okay, that will remain same. That is known as a master data. Okay, so any data wherein the changes do not happen very frequently is known as a master data, and you maintain such kind of a data under basic data and tools section. Okay, be it related to your incidents or reporting system, or in terms of specification, we'll come to that. and reports. Let's say in your company on an annual basis, you would be generating about 15 reports. That will be all. So these 15 reports, how exactly do you need at the end of the duration? You can decide it and you can configure those details in the basic data and tools. Okay, that is the configuration part we do in basic data and tools. Second is coming to product safety. You must be knowing, see, we have two types of industries basically. One is service based industry and process based industry and construction based industry. We have different types of industries available. So product safety is one of those areas. It helps those organizations who are involved into the manufacturing sector most primarily, because that is where you will be handling the end-to-end life cycle of a product, right from the conception of a product to the delivery, or until it goes into the hands of the customers. You have to track each and every moment of that product. So that is where product safety comes into picture, wherein a lot of hazardous substances management could be handled, or with respect to the global label management, because any product you choose in a market, when you buy any product, you will see on the product there will be so many labels mentioned. Either it may be related to the product, or to the safety instructions, or any other labels that will be available. So how do you actually control this label management? That can be done in SAP EHS. Okay, be it related to safety instructions, expiry dates, or related to logisticals, anything. So all these label requirements can be handled in product safety. Okay, and substance volume tracking. What is substance volume tracking? Substance volume tracking is something like if you are involved in a process where you will produce a lot of hazardous substances. As per the legal regulations, you have to declare how much of the hazardous substance you are producing in that plant. In terms of quantities, you have to declare to them, and how you are handling it, storing it. All these details have to be submitted in a form of a report to the government. Okay, so this you can handle it in product safety. Okay, that is known as substance volume tracking. How much of the volume of hazardous substance you are using in the company. Okay, and report management and report shipping can also be handled in product safety, wherein, like I told you, if it is related to the regulatory content, you have to submit some of the reports. You have to generate the reports either for internal use, internal purposes, or for legal requirements. So the generation of reports, how do we actually configure the reports, and what data will go into the reports, even that can be tracked in this SAP EHS submodule known as product safety. Okay, next is a waste management. Once this process are done, lot of waste is produced in the company, in the process sector. Okay, how do we handle waste? Because again, this will come under the legal requirement. So as per the legal requirement, we have to declare what is the waste, how we are handling it, what is the waste disposal process we have. So all these things have to be tracked and reported. So we see basic data, master data, and the documents that are pertaining to the disposal process, that we will be seeing in waste management, and reporting as per the legal requirements. So these are some of the basic concepts that would be dealing in waste management. Okay, now coming to industrial hygiene and safety. This is one of the wherein both process industry, manufacturing, or any other construction, all these companies will heavily rely on industrial hygiene and safety, because this is where you will look at the following functions. One is the basic data and general functions. Basic data in terms of what kind of risk assessments you would be doing, what kind of reporting system you would be configuring, and what are the general function in terms that will be available in industrial hygiene and safety. And work area management, we'll see this in detail. Exposure management, exposure to agents. Like if it's a chemical based industry, there will be so many agents like chemical agents or the climatic agents, electrical hazards, mechanical hazards. These are the various exposure scenarios that we come across in an industry. So how do we identify them and control them? That we'll see in the exposure management. And risk assessment, you all know that be it any industry, this is a very important component. So we'll look into the risk assessment part. Measurement management, incident accident reporting. This is very important when it comes to any incident or accident. There are some legal requirements as well that you have to report. And the preliminary investigation reports has to be generated as for how the incident happened, the place of the incident, and people involved in the accident. All these things can be tracked in industrial hygiene and safety submodule. Okay, once that is done, you can generate reports related to individual incidents, near misses, safety observations, or annual reports in terms of how many man hours we have worked, and how many of the incidents have taken place, how many near misses have taken place. All these kind of different reports can be generated. Occupational health. Again, this is a very vast submodule involving a lot of processes in EHS. Okay, so data protection is one of the major features in this, because when it comes to the health of any employee in an organization, that has to be maintained with a lot of secrecy, and it is a confidential information wherein not a lot of people can access to this data. So data protection is one of the major concerns in this area. Be it the preliminary health screening of the candidates before they are onboarded into the company, or the regular health checkups that the companies conduct in order to see if the employees working in a particular area, so those who are exposed to the hazards like noise or maybe vibrations or chemicals. So these are the sectors where companies expect the employees to undergo regular health checkups. Okay, and if they find if there are some variations or some health issues coming up in those work areas, then a separate work area will be designated to them so that they can overcome such a health hazard. Okay, so that is how occupational health will help us in tracking the health status of each employee in a company. So what else do we see here? Basic data. Again, this is a configuration data that we do. And schedule planning. Planning is the health checkups that is regularly conducted in a company. You can actually schedule every 6 months or every quarter, and which the work group has to undergo this medical checkup. All those things, scheduling work could be done in this. And HR module or HCM module is the one that is integrated along with occupational health, because employee data, when we say, automatically the HR department comes into picture. So you have to understand one thing: SAP EHS cannot function alone. It's not just a standalone module. It has a lot of integration points with other modules, like be it HR or logistics. Okay, like plant maintenance and quality management. These are the other modules wherein you will have a connection with SAP EHS. So in terms of occupational health, it is HCM module that will be supporting us. Okay, and medical services. A lot of companies would be having the medical services on premise. On premise, they will be having clinics. So if there is any complaint, any health issue for any employee, So the first point of contact would be the on-site clinic. Once the employee goes to the on-site doctor, he'll be treated there either for first aid or some health related issues. Then that data will be captured by the doctor. Okay, and that doctor will make it available in the SAP system so that his manager or maybe the HR department could easily access and see what was the health issue about, and do we have to conduct any investigation into it. Okay, so this data will be integrated in such a way that all the other related departments can have a look at the data and they can take necessary action towards that. So that is how it helps us. Medical service, like I told you, if there is some minor injuries or some health issues, the on-site medical service, they will track, they will give the medical advice, and they will track the reports. And injury illness log, so if there is any complaint related to injuries or illnesses, a report will be generated. That report is known as injury or illness log, and this log will be integrated with incident or accident log. Okay, these two reports are quite integrated because, see, these are you must be knowing, since you are from EHS background, you must be knowing if there is any illness. Okay, the doctor would suggest that the illness was because of some process, because of some inhalation of some poisonous gases, let's say, for example. So in that case, now that becomes a completely different picture. The EHS department has to come and investigate exactly how did this happen. It might be related to health issue, but how the health was impacted, it was because of the process. There was some leakage of gas or something because of which the worker had inhaled the gas, and that impacted his health. So the EHS department will come into picture and they will investigate the whole thing. So what will happen, for that injury or illness, you have to create a incident or accident log. Now the second step would be investigating the incident. Okay, so this is how injury, illness, or occupational health is also related to the incident or accident investigation. I hope you guys are getting what I'm explaining here. Okay, so these are the modules that will go through, the sub modules within SAP EHS. Apart from these things, there are technical things also that you should be coming up across, like EHS tables. What are the tables? Basically, table is a place where, you know, all your EHS data gets stored. Okay, it's a data structure wherein all the data related to EHS will be stored, and you, whenever you create reports, the data will be fetched automatically from these tables and it will be filled in the reports. Okay, so we will see in detail regarding the EHS tables. We have hundreds and thousands of tables available in SAP. Okay, and what are the integration points? Like I told you, SAP EHS module is not a standalone module. We have a lot of integration with other modules, like be it HR or plant maintenance or material management, and many other, like quality management also. We have integration points. Okay, we'll see all those things in detail. So this is the brief overview of EHS module in SAP. Okay, so are there any questions related to this from anyone? If you would like to ask any questions.
Yes, sir, I have one question. You mentioned
Yes.
that the SAP EHS works in tandem with all these other modules, like for example the
Yes.
HR and logistics and all that. So, in order to work as a SAP EHS consultant, is it required for us to be trained for those other modules as well?
That's a good question, Abdul. No, I don't, recommend that you should be knowing the other modules as well. Yeah, there will be some integration points, like with HR, you would be accessing a lot of the employee data, but it doesn't mean that you should be knowing the entire module. Okay, only the basic data with respect to the employee. Okay, what are the details of an employee that you would be accessing, that you should be aware of, so that you can interact in a better way with the other consultants. When you are working as a SAP EHS consultant, remember one thing: it's not only you that you would be working on a software. You will have a lot of interaction with other consultants, be it functional consultants or technical consultants or clients. You should be knowing only the basic concept in HR. What is the interaction, what should I be dealing with? So one is the employee data, second would be the attendance, third would be if there are any leave applications from the employees, is it related to occupational health or some injuries? So these are the basic data that would be requiring. Otherwise, it's okay. You don't have to know very much into the other modules.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions from other guys?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Fine. So we can do one thing. I will take you on a small uh, uh, our training system so that you can have a look how we are going to. See, this is the educational portal, SAP portal IDS system, where we'll be working out our practical sessions. Okay, this is how the screen looks, and this is where you will be. Guys, can you see my screen? Is it visible to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is where this is a demo system wherein we'll do all our practical, practical sessions will be done here. Okay, we have all the components available related to finance or other areas of applications of SAP, like logistics, warehouse management, material management, all that. But we'll be basically dealing with EHS. So this is where we will work out. Okay, like I told you, these are the basic data tools, product safety, global label management. Okay, all these will cover each one by one. Okay, you can explore here. You can go to basic data and tools. I told you this is where the master data is configured. Okay, so if you want to generate some reports, okay, you go to report definition, and in the report definitions you can create a report templates. Document types can be mentioned here. Okay, so all this. So what is the meaning? See, as a SAP EHS consultant, you will have access to this configuration part, but as an end user you will not have. You will be only using the transaction codes to carry out your daily operations. You will not have access to these system, okay, to this part of the system wherein we do the configuration part. That will be strictly limited. Okay, the access to the system will be limited depending on what role you are performing in a company. As an end user you are too much restricted, but as a consultant you can go, you can configure all these details. Okay, these are the different document types that you can create. Okay, apart from this, there are so many things you can do with respect to occupational health, dangerous goods management, and we'll maintain the dangerous goods master data here. Okay. Similarly, in product safety also, we'll see what are the different reports to be maintained, substance volume tracking, what data has to be maintained here, bill of material transfer. So we can start exploring each of these sub modules going ahead. Okay. We operate SAP system using transaction codes. Transaction code is like a command where you will enter here. For example, if you want to see the tables, you can go. This is the command for seeing the tables. Enter. Then you will come here. You can enter the table name and execute this. Once you execute this, you will get reports like this. So these are the reports related to specification management. Okay, specification management, that is also one of the concepts we would be coming. So all the records, let it be anything. Suppose if you want to see some records related to materials, even that could be done. This is where the tables that I mentioned, this is where you can see the tables related to materials and other details. Okay, and this is where the data will be stored. I told you, whenever you create some records or you feed some data into the SAP system, that data is stored in the tables. Okay, you have to access the right table if you want to know what is the data available in it. Okay, if you want to see data related to the coffee powder, you have to come here to this table, you have to access it, and then you can see all the data related to that. What is a material group, unit of measure, okay, who created it, when it was created, all these things, all this data will be available in the tables. Okay, guys. There are many other options in the screens that you can explore going ahead. So this is a basic overview of SAP demo system. Okay, this is how it will look like. Okay, so this was the demo session we had. I hope I was able to convey whatever the information that you were looking for in this demo session. And if there are any doubts from your side, or if you want to ask something, you can please go ahead. You can clarify your doubts. So now it's up to you to speak up so that I can interact with you.
Sir, I don't have a doubt regarding this PPT
Yeah.
and regarding this course, but I have a question about what is the company demand actually after doing these courses.
Yeah.
Okay, after getting trained from you about what company look for. If is company consider about our past experience towards the core EHS field?
Absolutely, Vinith. Absolutely. See, even when I started, I had these doubts, coming from a core domain, from a completely different domain. See, I had no contact or any exposure to IT related activities before. This was something new to me. Okay. So I had similar kind of a doubt. But when we speak about ERP softwares, it's not, I would not say that it's completely 100% of the IT thing that will be involved in this. Okay,
Okay.
50 to 60% of the data that we deal in ERP software is the real time data that we use in the companies. Okay, when we speak
Okay.
about SAP EHS, since you are from a core background, you will be in more demand. Okay, those SAP EHS consultant who have a core experience in this EHS domain, they will be in demand because all the other people are not from such a core background, nobody would be knowing what are the different parameters we judge in EHS, that you will be knowing better. And when we go to a customer or client, when we want to let's say install this SAP software, we want to develop this software for one of the companies, you will be interacting with the customer. Okay, until and unless you don't have a background experience of EHS, how will you be able to understand what is the requirement? Let's say I have a company. Okay, I want to implement SAP EHS in my company. Okay, you come to me, but you don't have a EHS background. You come to me and you take my requirements. I would be saying I need injury illness reports to be created, or I would say the kappa or corrective preventive action should be maintained in such and such a way. Investigation steps should be eight. Investigation would be lead should be assigned. I would be saying in terms of these terms. These are the technical terms which only a core EHS guy can understand. Okay, not everybody can understand these technical terms. So if you have a core background, if you have a core domain experience, that is well and good. That will help you more in your career as a consultant. Okay.
Uh,
Rather than just as a software professional, if you go without knowing anything in the background, it will not help much, either the customer or the company. You might be good in programming, but you will not understand the customer requirement.
okay. And one more thing, sir.
Yeah.
So when I see some job posting by the companies,
Yes.
they there is a requirement about 2 years of experience in EHS domain, right? That
Yeah.
SAP
Correct.
EHS.
Yes.
So suppose I'm applying to that company
Hmm.
that is required some 3 to 5 years of experience,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So I don't have experience in SAP EHS domain. I do
Okay.
have a training certificate, but they
Hmm.
even consider me to take to take in the company.
Yeah, see again, Vinith, it depends on the company requirement. Like if they have a pretty urgent requirement,
Okay,
they'll be okay even if you don't have experience as a SAP consultant. But again,
okay,
you should not go to them in a blank way and say, okay, look, I don't have any exposure to SAP, but I have core experience.
yeah,
You should not go to say like that. What you should be saying is, I have core domain experience, but I also have exposure to SAP EHS. Your exposure might be in terms of as an end user, not an issue. You can say in my organization we were implementing this SAP EHS, and I was one of the SMEs. You can say I was the subject matter expert. Okay, I used
okay,
to interact with the consultants, in providing them our requirements, and they used to come back to me with their solution. So I
okay,
had a lot of exposure like that, and I know a lot of things. So when you say that, they'll be a lot more comfortable. They'll say, okay, no problem, he doesn't have the real time experience as an IT consultant, but he has interacted with other consultants in the implementation project. So they will definitely give a consideration to you. Okay, rather than
yeah,
saying that I don't have any experience in SAP EHS. Don't say like that. Say that your
okay,
company implemented SAP EHS and you are the subject matter expert during the implementation, and you know a lot of things, you learned a lot of things from the consultant. You can put it that way.
right,
And also, let me tell you, there is a huge demand. The demand is just increasing. Going ahead also, SAP EHS is going to do well in the market, especially in India. If you see, uh, till up until now, EHS is not so much preferred, nor is it followed so religiously in India. Okay, but after having felt the corona effect and all this lockdown, lot of the companies would be going ahead with artificial intelligence and technology. So once they implement, it will again become a requirement to go ahead with SAP EHS. It's not that they will only implement finance or materials and then leave out other modules. It doesn't happen that way. At least 10 to 12 modules each company is going to implement. And with the regulations that are coming up nowadays, you need this system to run your business. So it's looking good in coming years.
Right, sir.
Yeah. Any other doubt from other
So,
guys?
yes, sir. I just have a question. How difficult would it be, or what would you suggest for someone who is looking to, get their foot in the door? Like, even Vineet said, like for example, I'm in a similar boat. I have experience in the core HSC domain, but I
Huh.
don't have a lot of exposure to SAP EHS. So after completion of this course, how will I be able to get my foot in the door?
See, like having experience in your core domain itself is a push, okay? And see, so many interviews I have attended, and there have been so many interactions that I have made. The the difficulty that the IT companies are facing is, shortage of manpower who can actually understand the customer requirement. This coding, the creation of this master data or creating a software, there are so many people who can do that. But understanding the requirement from the customer is one of the challenges, because IT companies don't have so many experts on EHS. Okay, so that is one advantage when you go with your core domain experience. Okay, but one thing is, you have to be able to learn whatever is available in SAP EHS. Okay, they will ask you a lot of questions related to reportings or other master data, these that. It's not a it cannot be learned easily in one day. It will take time, but over a period of time, depending on how much effort you put, you will understand each and every concept in SAP EHS. And the more knowledge you gain, you will be able to convey the same to your interviewer. And quite frankly, your interviewer himself would not be knowing so much of EHS concepts. They'll just be asking you related to technical terms. So there is a shortage of manpower, and hopefully uh, you will be picked up by one company or the other. I'm sure about that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and sir, I just have one more question.
Sure, sure,
The
sure.
major employer for SAP ATS consultants would be, I think, the IT sector. But what about other process related or manufacturing companies? What is the scope in companies like that, which are essentially the on the other end of the spectrum, the people who are actually doing the manufacturing, who are handling the process, etc.
Hmm.
Like for
Okay,
example, we can take an example of in India ONGC. So stuff like
okay,
that. In what is in companies like that?
okay. See, you're speaking about what is the scope as a SAP EHS consultant and as a end user. See, as an end user, like I told you during the demo, you have very limited capabilities or the limited access that will be given to you, so you won't be able to do much. Okay, and any company that is implementing SAP EHS, they will ask the IT sector or the IT company that is implementing the project to train their end users. Okay, so the IT company, the consultants will come and they will train the end users of ONGC. Okay, and if you learn this course, it will not be of in much help to you, as a end user. I don't think you will be dealing so much into it. But as a SAP EHS consultant, you have huge scope. Okay, so I prefer you better take the other option of becoming as a SAP EHS consultant. Anyhow, if you need training, if a company has already implemented SAP EHS, they will give it to you free of cost.
Right, right.
I hope I have
Okay, got it.
answered your query.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other person? If there are any more doubts, questions.
No, no, sir.
Not from my side, sir.
Rajneesh.
No,
No, sir.
Okay, all right, all right. So this is all about the demo session we had today. Lastly, what I would suggest is you have made a good choice. Now is the time that we need lot of EHS professionals in the IT sector, and there is a huge crisis. There is a huge demand for the people having core background, the core domain experience. So I hope once you complete this training and start applying, you will get a positive response. You will see that yourself. Okay, I don't have to tell you. Even now at this moment, if you just prepare some dummy resume and upload it into the portals, just see how many calls you would be getting on each day. Okay, it's all about how you are going to present yourself to the companies. That is the whole thing. And one more thing, always remember, SAP is a system where you will load the data. It's all about data, nothing else. It doesn't control anything. There is no artificial intelligence, no machinery involved in this. It's all about data that you feed into the SAP system and the data that you extract out of it. Okay, that's all we are speaking about in SAP. Okay, and the more knowledge you gain in SAP, the more your demand would be going higher. Once you complete PhD, you can explore other related things like SAP ASAP is there. So that there are two types of consultants in SAP. One is SAP functional consultant, the other is a technical consultant. So after going through this course, you will be becoming a technical consultant. And coming days, what we are seeing is a lot of companies are looking for techno-functional guys. Techno-functional consultant is the one who would be knowing the functional side of a SAP as well as the technical side. Technical may be related to how do we create reports, how do we create interfaces, okay, integration with other modules, and if there is some other old system that company is following, how do we migrate the data from that system to the new SAP system? All these things come under the technical things. So start with functional, pick up slowly, and then you can also explore the technical side of this SAP software. Okay, that is one hint that I would like to give you.
Okay, sir. Can you tell me the duration of this course? How much time it will take to?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, ideally it will take 40 to 45 hours.
Okay.
That is the ideal course duration, I can say.
Okay.
Yeah. If there are no further questions, I ask Dipali to take over.
Yes, Nayaz. We'll coordinate with our candidates and we'll get back to you.
Sure,
Thank
Dipali.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so much. Thank you
thank you all of you guys,
for joining this session.
and all
Yeah,
the
thank
best.
you so
All the
Thanks.
much.
best.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Have a nice day. Bye.